The man who once ran the nation's top law enforcement agency is now under investigation like a common criminal. This isn't just a scandal. It reeks of corruption in a tailored suit. I've got the confession video and a clip that's going to send chills down your spine. Because this man is a total disgrace. Nothing less than a traitor. Meanwhile, in D.C., violent crime is exploding, and the police chief delivers a statement that sounds more like a bad acid trip, while bodies fall just blocks from the White House. And just when you think someone in the Democrat Party might show a hint of remorse, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker steps up, cold, confident, and utterly unapologetic. His words, so shocking, it silenced the room. This is not leadership. It is delusion, and the American people are the ones paying the price. Take a good look, folks. James Comey in orange. Who wants to see this become a permanent wardrobe change? Go ahead, smash that like button for me if you think orange is the new treason. Yesterday, I brought you the bombshell story of a Democrat whistleblower dropping a political nuke on Senator Adam Schiff. Now, the whistleblower says he personally watched Schiff give a thumbs up to leak class. We now have the scandal.
Held accountable for the countless lies he told the American people in relation to the Russiagate scandal. I brought Tulsi Gabbard out to this podium to talk to you about all of that. And this administration is taking accountability very seriously. As for this new FBI whistleblower report, I understand Kash Patel last night declassified a 302 FBI document showing that a whistleblower who is a Democrat, a career intelligence officer who worked for Democrats on the House Intel Committee for more than a decade, repeatedly warned the FBI in 2017 that then Rep. Adam Schiff had approved leaking classified information to smear then President Donald Trump over the Russiagate scandal.
And that's not all. I've got more breaking news, this time involving Mr. Seashells himself, James Comey. Now, before we get to the new leaks and lies that are being exposed, let's take a quick trip down memory lane. Let's watch him shake President Trump's hand while secretly plotting to frame him for treason. This was not a handshake. It was a stab in the back.
Oh, it is? Okay. He's become more famous than me.
Tough to watch and even tougher to stomach. I mean, that man is a traitor. And if you think that's the worst of it, just wait. Here comes James Comey admitting on camera that he personally sent FBI agents to ambush the Trump administration over the Russia collusion hoax.
If you look at this White House now, it's hard to imagine 2 FBI agents ending up in the same room. How did that happen?
I sent them. Wouldn't have done administration, for example, or the associates into the White House itself to interview a senior official. You would work through the White House counsel, and there'd be discussions and approvals, and who would be there.
All I do is be in jail.
And I thought it's early enough. Let's just send a couple guys over.
Oh, you know, just casually tossing protocol out the window like yesterday's briefing notes and sending FBI agents into the White House unannounced. Now imagine for 1 second, if Kash Patel had done that to a Democrat president, the media would have lit their hair on fire. CNN would be running a countdown clock to his indictment, and Rachel Maddow would still be crying on air. But when James Comey does it, the whole Wallace just laughs. And now enter the new bombshell. Documents reveal that Comey wasn't just running a covert smear campaign, he was leaking classified information to the New York Times using a buddy at Columbia Law School as his personal news mule. That's not transparency, that's espionage in a trench coat. Here's John Solomon, editor-in-chief of JustTheNews.com, breaking the story.
James Comey decided not to work for the FBI press office when he wanted to change the narrative in Washington, burnish his reputation against attacks from Democrats and try to sully Donald Trump's reputation. If you remember, Democrats were mad that James Comey let out of the bag just before the election that there might be some new evidence in the Hillary Clinton email scandal. Hillary blamed Comey for throwing the election. She blamed the Russians for throwing the election. She blamed everybody but herself for throwing the election for her. But and Michael Schmidt, he's one of the authors of the Pulitzer Prize winning package that President Trump is now suing over. And my goal was to improve negative stories about James Comey and to set a narrative, i.e. set the Russia collusion narrative. This guy worked around the official channels of the FBI press office, and at one point the FBI noted, you met with James Comey, he gave you access to classified information. A short while later, You had a conversation with that New York Times reporter, and he ends up reporting something that appears to be classified. Did you do it? And he gives, I think, perhaps the most famous denial people will remember since Bill Clinton says it depends what the meaning of the word is when he tried to obfuscate whether he had an affair with Monica Lewinsky. He says, I can say, I don't think I confirmed the information. I can say with a discount that I didn't give him the classified information. With a discount means you got to give me some room.
And it gets worse. We now know Comey directly ordered Lisa Page and Peter Strzok to assist the Times in pushing those lies. See, the FBI knew, and they didn't act. They just watched the circus unfold. Comey wasn't hauled in front of a grand jury. Neither was Daniel Richman, his law school leak machine. And remember, just like Schiff, there was a whistleblower in the room saying, I saw this happen, and still nothing. This is what a two-tiered justice system looks like. One set of rules for the swamp, and another for everyone else. And the only coming to light now because Kash Patel blew the lid off it. The FBI had the receipts the entire time, proof that the Russia collusion narrative wasn't just wrong, it was manufactured, a deliberate lie that was crafted and spread like wildfire just to sabotage Trump's campaign and manipulate the American people. Now finally, there may be a path to accountability. Here are Pam Bondi's options.
I think if Pam Bondi goes the grand jury route, that these are people that are going to be hauled before the grand jury. I want to remind people, most classified information statutes have a 5-year statute of limitations, but there is a provision that extends it to 10 years if it's willing and knowing. And there's some pretty clear evidence of a strong apparatus put in place to make these leaks occur, according to the FBI documents. I think the grand jury could go back and try to compel testimony and find out if it rises to the level of criminality.
Translation? There's still time to haul Comey in front of a grand jury and make him answer for what he did. Justice delayed cannot be justice denied. It is time to stop protecting the political elite and start holding them accountable. The swamp, it's rotted long enough. But the good news is orange jumpsuits, they never go out of style. Now, speaking of things that should never be in style, let's talk about what happens when checking boxes replaces common sense. Meet DC Police Chief Pamela Smith, handpicked by Mayor Muriel Bowser and rubber stamped by the entire DC City Council. This is the woman tasked with protecting millions in our nation's capital. And if you're wondering what her leadership philosophy sounds like, have a seat under a tree, because apparently that's where she found him.
I'm just a branch off of an old tree. And I'm just that branch that's still standing. And as the leaves fall off, that's all I am. I'm just a tree. And you know what I like about being a tree? I'm glad God has chosen to use this tree.
A tree? That's her metaphor for leadership? I've heard fortune cookies with more strategic clarity. Maybe she should make like a tree and leave the position. That is, to someone who actually understands law enforcement and public safety. Crime is a major issue, and this is the person calling the shots. Now, as strange as that tree analogy was, this next clip, even more concerning. Watch this.
You feel like what the chain of command is now?
What does that mean?
Is it Pam Bondi speaking to the mayor?
She wouldn't know what chain of command means.
So, the executive order is clear. The president has requested NPD services, and our home rule charter outlines the process. The president designated Attorney General Bondi as his proxy to request services through me.
She can't even explain the chain of command. This is not a tough interview question. It is literally her job. And the confusion? Not so surprising once you learn that she was the chief equity officer before all of this. That's right. She ran diversity programs, not a police department. And then you have the media trying to outsmart the U.S. Attorney for D.C., Jeanine Pirro, saying the crime stats in D.C., well, they think they look pretty good.
It's never enough. It's never. Tell the mother, the Washington Convention Center, crime is down. You tell the kid who was just beat the hell and back with a severe concussion and a broken nose, crime is down. No, that falls on deaf ears. And my ears are deaf to that. And that's why I fight the fight.
Surprise, surprise. This is the same media circus that swore the border was Fort Knox and inflation was just a bad dream. Meanwhile, Tom Homan, he throws down the ultimate challenge, telling the fake news, if DC's really that safe, why don't you take a midnight stroll and prove it? Spoiler alert, you might not make it to the morning coffee run.
I've been in law enforcement 40 years. I won't transit DC without a gun. And any of the reporters said the crime rate is way down and it's safer than they say. I dare any of them walk the streets of DC after dark. If it's that safe, go ahead and do it. It's the other works out for you.
And here's why he's not just blowing smoke. We're talking about a city where people who survive war zones cannot survive a lift shift. This isn't a scare tactic, it's a brutal reality.
If you want an idea of how bad crime is in D.C., 2 summers ago, an Afghan interpreter who worked with U.S. Special Forces and escaped after Biden's disastrous Afghan withdrawal was shot and killed in a carjacking. This is a guy who survived the Taliban, but couldn't survive working as a Lyft driver in our nation's capital. They say that, murders have gone down from 180 last year, 83 last year, on track to only 170 this year. Only the Democrats would think 170 murders is something to celebrate and doesn't need any intervention.
And he ain't lying. But that just goes to show you how confused they are. What rock and roll is saying.